UFC 304 is coming up this month, July 22nd, one day after my birthday, okay? And as a early birthday present, I am requesting one and only thing, okay? I do not care if Belal Muhammad beats Leon. I legitimately could not care. At this point, if Belal Muhammad beats Leon Edwards, I might take that just so I can see Dana White having a stroke in the corner. But please, as my one birthday wish, okay? My one birthday wish that will be honored for my entire life, okay? I will take this. I will take 20 years of bad luck, okay? Tom Aspinall, just please beat Curtis Blaydes. Like, I cannot stress this enough. The most important fight at UFC 304 for the UFC, for my sanity, okay, for my goodwill, is Tom Aspinall absolutely thrashing Curtis Blaydes, okay? I want him to so easily destroy him, okay? Curtis Blaydes, like, the amount of absolute glaze I have had to hear from John Jones and John Jones fans about, well, Curtis Blaydes should win this one. If you actually look at the first Tom Aspinall fight, he was winning every single exchange in that fight. Okay. I'm gonna say this one time, very clear, just so you understand this. No, he didn't! Watch the fight back! Tom Aspinall was winning just about every striking exchange in there. The strikes that Curtis Blaydes was landing, I'm not even kidding you, were grazing forearms, and Curtis Blaydes landed one, okay? Landed one clean strike in that entire fight. It was one round, okay? Acting like it was some one-sided beating the entire time, that Tom Aspinall was saved because he threw a leg kick and got checked. A leg that already had microfractures, by the way. I'm so surprised that all of a sudden all the Conor McGregor copium wears off when we see another person have microfractures in their shin bone. Okay? Conor McGregor had microfractures in his shin bone, had his leg absolutely destroyed. Tom Aspinall was coming in with the same types of injuries and had a tendon in his knee break. Rafael Fiziev had something very similar happen to him in the Gamrot fight. We see this happen. Okay? Acting like Curtis Blaydes was already destroying him on the feet. Like, never, like, even if he was, okay? Even if he was. We saw Sergey Pavlovich no-diff Curtis Blaydes. That's what we saw, dude. We saw Curtis Blaydes get humbled. Curtis Blaydes lost to Derek Lewis. Like, I like Curtis Blaydes. I don't want my disdain for the John Jones fan base to make you guys think that I hate Curtis Blaydes. Absolutely not. I actually think Curtis Blaydes is one of the coolest guys in the division. But, like, I'm going to say this in the most respectful way possible, okay? I want you to lose, Curtis Blaydes, okay? This is bigger than you at this point. I want you to lose because, I'll be real with you, I'm going to put my money, my brain, my wallet, my heart, everything in my being is telling myself, Tom Aspinall should win this fight. But if he loses, I might have a mental breakdown, okay? The day after my birthday, that might be it. That might be it for me, boys. Like, if I'm staying up late, okay? I have to stay up late now because they moved it to US time. Sorry for you UK boys. If I'm watching this, okay? We're at like 12:30 at night. And I hear fucking Michael Bisping. I know Joe Rogan's not doing it because Joe Rogan doesn't want to go anywhere other than the United States to commentate. Whoever's doing it. If I have to hear Michael Bisping talk about, oh, he's hurt and Curtis Blaydes is the new interim champion, this might be it. Bro, if that happens, I'm done. Okay? Like, that's not the only reason I'm making this video, because there's another fight on here that really I couldn't care less. I think it's going to be a fun fight, but I just wanted to open it up. I want Tom Aspinall to beat Curtis Blaydes, and this would be my advice I would offer to Tom Aspinall. I'm like 90% convinced Guru and Tom Aspinall at some point have to be sharing DMs, okay? Like, if you're Tom Aspinall, even if you're MMA Guru, brother, you gotta reach out to Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall, reach out to him. Guru, reach out to him. Because Tom Aspinall has a he can do something very important. if he's able to beat Curtis Blaydes, okay, go on the microphone. You're the interim champion that just defended your title. I've talked about in other videos, I could see the UFC annulling the interim title the moment Jon Jones steps into the cage, because they have done that before. Colby Covington was the interim champion, and they just stripped him afterwards, and they made Kamaru Usman versus Tyron Woodley. The UFC is not above doing just straight up underhanded tactics if they don't like you as a fighter. It's just crazy to me that they're going to put all these marketing dollars into Patty Pimblett to be the second coming of Conor McGregor when the UK has Tom Aspinall, okay? A dude that I think is going to become the heavyweight GOAT. He is a young, athletic, charming dude on the microphone that has beaten everybody that I thought was going to beat him. Like, the only person that I think is going to beat him at heavyweight would be a current John. I think he beat Cyril Gane. He already beat Sergey. I think he's going to beat Curtis Blaydes, and I think I don't know who beats Tom Aspinall after Jon Jones is gone. Why would the UFC not get behind easily the most promising contender coming out of the UK? That is so crazy to me. And Tom Aspinall, okay? I want you to bring up every single allegation against Jon Jones you possibly can, okay? I want you to find the most blasphemous dirt that you possibly can, and I want you to throw that at Jon. I know that's not how you play, but if the UFC is gonna pull this BS talking about how Stipe Miocic deserves to fight for the title over you, you don't even have to smack talk Jon. Smack talk Stipe. Talk about how the UFC offered me the interim title shot and told Stipe to step aside. The UFC themselves admitted that I am the interim champion and that Stipe Miocic should not be fighting for the interim. That is what the UFC admitted. They said it was an insult to offer Stipe Miocic an interim title shot. Fucking pause, okay? Imagine if any other fighter had that type of treatment. Imagine if we told... dude, I could literally name any fighter. Imagine if Leon Edwards, okay, before he fought for the title, imagine if we told him, oh yeah, it would be an insult to have him fight for a #1 contenders match, and they just throw him immediately into a title shot. Imagine if they did that for Hamzat. Hamzat, they at least had to gaslight you into thinking that Hamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker is a rightful #1 contenders match, despite Sean Strickland just waiting out after arguably beating Dricus and beating Adesanya. The UFC has been becoming more and more blatant with the privilege that they're showing off. And here's the thing. I sound like I hate the UFC. I love the UFC. I love that we can just skirt around these rules. However, when they're skirting around the rules and straight up talking shit about a fighter that I like Tom Aspinall, I really like Tom. Tom Aspinall seems like the coolest dude. Brother, this is a guy, this is going to sound fucked up. This is a guy that has a special needs child that was going on vacation with his kid. They called him up to replace Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic while he was on vacation with his wife and child. And the first thing that he had to ask was his wife and child if it was okay for him to fight for the interim. What a great guy, dude. Jon Jones probably would have been like, fuck off, and then go fight for the title. I guarantee, you think Jon Jones was going to ask his wife if he could fight for the title? Fuck no, bro. Tom Aspinall is outrageously a good human being, and it's absolutely horrendous that the UFC is just scoffing at meritocracy and throwing a good dude. It really is a fucked up situation that's happening to Tom Aspinall. That's really what it is. Next thing on our docket. Patty Pimblett versus Bobby Green, okay? Actually, it's King Green. That's his new name now. I'm just going to call him Green. I'm not going to say King Green over and over again. I thought that was illegal to name yourself King. I'm not even kidding. But this fight surprised me when it was made. Mostly because I thought for sure they were going to do Patty Pimblett versus Renato Moicano. And I think that's what the UFC's doing. Because just 2 days ago, Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint-Denis was officially made for September 28th, UFC Paris. What a great fight. Let me just start off by saying that. But let me tell you, I made a video earlier today talking about what I think it was. And I've thus refined my outlook, okay? This is what I think the UFC's planning. The UFC views Patty Pimblett, for whatever reason, as their ticket into the UK market. Never fucking mind that Leon Edwards is a champion. Who gives a shit that Tom Aspinall is the interim heavyweight champion that should be the real heavyweight champion? No! Let's go to Patty Pimblett, the guy who lost to Jared Gordon and was gifted a decision. Yeah, that guy's gonna be our ticket into the UK market. Like any of my UK subscribers, you tell me. Rank these 3 UK fighters for me real quick. Oh, how much you like them. Leon Edwards, Tom Aspinall, Patty Pimblett, and you know what? Let's throw in a 4th, Arnold Allen. I think more people like Arnold Allen than Patty at this point. But the UFC runs into an issue with Patty Pimblett. Patty Pimblett, at this point in his career, you have to give him a ranked opponent. I think the requirements to fight Patty Pimblett is 1, you have to be a guy that can hype up a fight. Not just that, you also have to be ranked, and you have to be a dude that Patty Pimblett can reasonably beat. At this point in Patty Pimblett's career, they are going to try to cherry-pick opponents that he could reasonably beat that also get him in the title contention. The UFC will view the Patty Pimblett experiment as a success if Patty Pimblett at least gets a title shot. Understand that's what the UFC's doing. They are not under this crazy cloud of copium thinking to themselves that Patty Pimblett is going to beat Islam Makhachev. They don't think he's going to beat Islam, but if he's able to get a title shot against Islam Makhachev, then the experiment worked. That is the whole point. The Darren Till experiment, whether you want to believe it or not, did not work out well for Darren. It worked out perfect for the UFC. You had somebody that could sell, and you didn't have to pay them as much money as you would pay a champion. The UFC views the Ben Askren trading with Demetrius Johnson as an overwhelming success because guess what we got out of it? The BMF title. Yeah, I'm not even kidding you. Through like the domino effect, Demetrius Johnson getting traded, the ONE FC, gave us the BMF title and Max Holloway fighting at UFC 300. Believe it or not, that's actually what happened. The UFC does not view a guy that was given Dana White privilege becoming champion as a success. Not always. Patty Pimblett is going to be the guy that they're going to get into a title shot and then that the success story is over. But to do that, you have to give him somebody that he could reasonably beat that is ranked in a title shot opportunity. I think Patty Pimblett could beat Renato Moicano. I don't think he beats Drew Dober. I don't think he beats Benoit Saint-Denis. I don't think he beats Jalen Turner. I don't think he beats Justin Gaethje. Arman Sarukian, all the people that you would reasonably have to beat for a title shot, I don't think he wins, and it would be a hard time to sell that fight. No, ring in Renato Moicano. Renato Moicano is game for any fight, dude. Hilarious guy. Not the most exciting to watch fight, I'll say that, however, very entertaining guy. Renato Moicano fighting Benoit Saint-Denis is a winnable fight, a dangerous fight for Renato Moicano. If Moicano is able to beat Benoit Saint-Denis, he is going to be in a title shot opportunity. And I think what the UFC is going to do is they're going to come in with dollar signs, okay? They're going to go in Renato Moicano's office. Hunter's probably going to call him, probably glaze him up a little bit, talking about how he's one of the most promising lightweights in recent memory. And then they're going to offer him the Patty Pimblett fight. Not because they care about Moicano, but because if Patty Pimblett beats Moicano, he is in that title shot opportunity. Dustin Poirier beat Benoit Saint-Denis and was able to get a title shot. If Benoit Saint-Denis beat Dustin Poirier, he was going to get a title shot. If Moicano beats BSD, he beat the dude that Dustin Poirier beat. If Moicano loses to Benoit Saint-Denis, then they're going to do Patty Pimblett versus Moicano, because if Moicano loses to Patty Pimblett, they can say, oh, Patty beat the dude that BSD beat, and then they're going to do Patty Pimblett, Benoit Saint-Denis. The UFC likes to arrange win-win scenarios for them. The Moicano versus Benoit Saint-Denis fight is a win-win scenario. It doesn't matter who wins. It gives a good stepping stone for Patty Pimblett. The ultimate goal of the UFC in terms of for Patty Pimblett has and always will be, get Patty Pimblett into a title shot. We don't give a shit what happens next. I don't know why. That's just how they view it. The easiest way to do that would be, and I've always said this, is to give him Moicano. However, I didn't think that the UFC was going to go for a Hail Mary pass into Moicano versus BSD, Patty Pimblett fighting Moicano near the end of the year. And in all honesty, you could justify a title shot after this. Arman Sarukian is going to be able to come back in October after hitting a fan, and I think it's going to be Islam Makhachev, Arman Sarukian. And then, since everybody else is either out or has lost to the champion or the guy who beat the champion like Justin Gaethje, lightweight's kind of in a weird spot right now. And we got Moicano versus Patty Pimblett. Winner of that gets to become the next guy to challenge Islam Makhachev. Or even best case scenario, if Islam Makhachev goes up to fight somebody at welterweight, you have to force an interim. So that means the winner of Moicano versus Patty Pimblett fighting another contender could be... Dude, Patty Pimblett could actually become an interim champion. Moicano could become an interim champion because of how lightweight's going to play out. But there you go. That's what I just wanted to talk about. I found that this channel definitely does better if I just give you guys some ranty episodes. I'm taking a break from the tier list content. That's going to be more on the second channel, Ethan on Everything. And thank you guys for the support on there. And it's hot as balls up here, dude. But I needed to talk about this. And I just want to say thank you, everybody who watches my content. And I will see you all next time. Adios.